Every now and then hear about the issue of youth radicalization, young men or women traveling, those who can decide to violence. And before I go on to talk about this, I want to note something positive. Traditionally, when these acts happen and people make a circus, they would look for this type of events and go and tell. I must say that I've been following the news, and I don't know how many here do. They actually handled it very well this time, and it's something I think we need to acknowledge. Whether it was the chief of the police who said something is happening, we don't know all the results yet, it's too early, yes this, yes that. So we must admit that they handled this in a very professional way. Typically when this type of events happen, all of us feel a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. For us, for our families, for our kids. But this time, I must say, I don't feel as much pressure. And I think it's partly because it was handled in a professional manner rather than trying to take advantage. Having said that, we have a problem. We have a problem with our. This has been going on for a while. I must acknowledge researchers, like this is actually most of the topics since fall, is they started looking into what is this cause, what is the cause, and it's actually a very complex problem. And we're not going to solve it here or even can pretend that we understand all the issues. But they found that it mostly stemmed from socially isolated, and I'm just quoting them here, socially isolated, disenchanted young youth turned to extremism of identity, acceptance, and purpose, which they are unable to find in the community. So it's not that they're religious. So it's not like they're doing this because they're faithful Muslims and they're religious and they want to do social problems. Sometimes, as we've seen in many events, also coupled with some mental problems. It's not that they're religious that they're doing that. In fact, and that's again I'm quoting research, often people are rather secular before they enter the radicalization process. And many of young potential radicals lack the proper knowledge of Islam, lack the proper knowledge, and have not read the Quran, not even once. And in fact, you go back and some of the things that happen and when they talk to people and they ask, many of them haven't read the Quran. They don't even know how to read the Quran. They haven't read it not even once. In fact, those who are those who are trying to radicalize the youth, they know this and they use this as an advantage. So they use the lack of knowledge of the scope of Islam as a whole as an advantage for them to prey on these young people. The advantage is that many young disenchanted individuals are not knowledgeable about the entire scope of the religion they are trying to embrace. So inside their heart, maybe they want to be religious. They want sense of purpose, and they want to do something great. But it's where they fall is knowing what is that great thing that they can do. Rather than doing something great, often they end up doing something disgraceful. Not only to them, but to the whole community. So radicalization, or youth radicalization, is linked in literature to alienation due to living in separate or parallel communities, identity crisis, and intergenerational conflict. So why is this? What is this alienation? They're saying the alienation is coming due to living in separate or parallel communities. Meaning, at home, you live in a cultural zone, a community of its own. And then when you go to school, when you go to your sporting team or whatever it is, when you go to work, it's completely different community. And then because they're living in these two communities, they sometimes they get lost in the middle. Why? Because the challenge that the Muslim kids have to face growing up is how to live in this community at large, like in the school community or whatever community outside of the home that they live in, with dealing with things like stereotyping, peer pressure, and bigger than that, the social norms, because they're friends. They go to school and they have friends, and these friends do certain things that are okay, are acceptable to them, but it's not acceptable to these kids because parents taught them that's not acceptable to you. We're Muslims. How do you do this? How do you live there and accept those people for what they are and accept what they do, at the same time believing and knowing and acting that these are wrong? But those are my friends and I still like them, but it's wrong what they're doing. So how do you do this? How do you balance things? And that's where often enough that you end up in this parallel communities. At home I'm this, outside home, this is what leads to alienation. So how do you get around that? Again, we'll go back to research, and the research says that for the kids to be able to kind of accomplish this task, they would have to have a strong Islamic identity. that they can fit outside, not be alienated, not be marginalized. They can still go and talk and fit with and play and fit with everybody, but at the same time, not shy away or cower from standing up and saying, no, I don't believe this, or that's against my belief. So this is what we need. This is how we need to raise our kids to be able to do that, to have a strong Islamic identity. At the same time, they have the self-confidence to stand up, to a strong identity to fit, and at the same time, be able to stand up and say, no, that's not. Otherwise, what we see is the alienation that they talk about, and then some people would turn into extreme to the right, where they would go and join, extreme ideology, basically. Or on the other side, which obviously doesn't come in the media, but it probably happens more often, that the kids will go way far to the left, where they say, and I've personally seen like this, oh yeah, my parents are Muslim. What does this mean? How about you? There are many that, or they completely not follow any of the Islamic tradition, sold it all together. So the two extremes are there. The two extremes are representative of the issues that we have. One obviously gets reported in the media because of the impact and everything else, and the other kind of. So we can't, obviously, this is a complex problem and a problem that needs complex solution. I don't even know if we will understand it. But we're not going to try to solve all this today. But what we can solve is where we have some influence. And this back to home. As family, as parents, we have a responsibility, we have a duty to our kids, and not only to our kids, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we raise these kids as healthy individuals, as good individuals, as good Muslims as we can. And that's because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyah." So we are all leaders. We are all guardians in our home, and we have an authority, we have a responsibility, we have a duty to do everything we can so that our kids don't end up in one of these two camps. So how do we go about this? And some people did the work, and they said there are 8 steps to reach this goal. And the goal again, so that to remind ourselves, the goal again is to have children grow up with strong Islamic identity and self-confidence. So they have to be basically strong individuals, strong at heart, not necessarily physically strong. So it starts. So we said there are 8 steps to that, and it starts with building the team. First thing is building the team. So to have kids, you need a team. You need a team of 2 people. And so before you start, before you start, you have the kids, building this team, finding a partner, finding a spouse, and you need to choose somebody, with a man or a woman, depends on your gender. We both, men and women, have to choose their partners, and we need to find somebody that is like-minded. Like-mindedness means thinks in the same fashion, that they share the principle, that they have the same set of values, that they share the same vision for the kid. Because if they don't, then there is a conflict, and in the conflict, that's where the kids get lost. So you can't have somebody that's thinking, I want my kids to go to this type of schools, and I want them to be this type of person, and this person, and the other team or the other partner, the other spouse saying, no, I want them to be this way and that way, and obviously it doesn't work. So that's the first thing, is choosing the right partner that shares our values, shares our principle, and our vision for the kids. The Prophet ﷺ give some youth advice, and he said, "Ishar bidat ad-din tarabat yadak." So people were asking about, how to go about getting married, and he said to them that, and he said this to a man, so he gave him advice about choosing the woman. But the same advice would apply if it was a woman choosing the man. He said that people usually choose their partner based on, or wife or husband, based on her will, beauty. He was talking to a man at the time, so he said people choose the woman for her beauty, her wealth, and her faith. And he said, if you get the one with the faith, then you're a winner. So here's some advice to us about how to make these choices. So we built the team. So the second thing is, now we're going to have the kids. Okay? So building the relationship with the kids is most crucial. Again, I go back to research. They say that the first 5 years in forming are the most critical. The first 5 years of a child's life are the most critical in forming the future personality of the child. Most of the problems that come later in teenage, they stem from the early child. Those are the early years, are the years where parents have some influence, a big degree of over who and what these children are going to be. Because later in age, often enough people kind of wake up later when they see the signs that things are going the wrong way, when the kids are already teenagers and they try to interfere or influence things, it's too late. It's too late. We have to do it very, very, very early on. And this relationship in the first years are going to determine the type of relationship that you're going to have. So how do you build this relationship? Start with the name. Even the Prophet ﷺ, and I don't remember the exact hadith, but I remember reading about that he instructed Muslims to choose a good name for their kids. Because if we give the kid a name, maybe that is, my background or from my wife's background or whatever it is, and if the kids are going to be making fun of this name for whatever reason, then, if the kids in the first day of school is going to be made fun of because of his or her name, how are they ever going to build a strong person? So when we name our kids, we have to be very conscious what this name means. Like if we pick name from our background, there's nothing wrong with that. How is it going to be pronounced? What does it mean here? Can somebody shorten it to? And I'm not gonna shy away. When my daughter was about to be born, I thought we were thinking names, and I wanted an Islamic name or something that has significance. And Asiya is a name, and Asiya is the name of the wife of Pharaoh. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made an example of her being one of two women that were believers, even though in a place of hope. So I loved the name, and I said, Asiya, I like this name. And then I was talking around, and then a friend of mine said, well, be careful. What do you think the kids are going to call her if they cut this name short, right? And I thought, goes away, right? We have to be conscious of these. We have to think about them, because later on they could affect the kids. Building the bond. So inshallah, we pick the right name, and we're building the bond, and the bond starts right after the baby's born. And breastfeeding is known medically, scientifically, to build the bond between the mother and the child. And these are very important things. Don't be shy away. Don't be shy away about expressing the love for the kids. There is nothing wrong. Some of us grew in homes where the father was a strong figure. You just run away if you see him around, right? But I don't know if this would work where we are today. So never shy away from expressing the love to the kids, because what the kids need in the future is to be strong, and when they feel safe and secure at home by being loved, then they'll be strong. And be your kid's best friend or BFF. It's important that the kids are able to speak and talk. There was a man that visited the Prophet ﷺ in his house, and he saw him kissing Sayyidina al-Hasan So he said to him, he looked at the Prophet and he says, you kiss your kids? He was the grandkids of the Prophet. He said, you kiss the Prophet ﷺ. This man, I have 10 kids and I've never kissed any of them, because he's a tough man. So the Prophet ﷺ told him, this who does not give mercy or show mercy does not receive mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Love our kids, we show them that we love them. The Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet from God, that when he was praying and leading the believers in the prayer, grandsons, Sayyidina al-Hasan and Umar, they would jump on his back, to ride his back. And there are stories that he would actually stay longer so that they kind of take their time. And then when he sits up, he would, gently, kindly take them on and put them slowly down. And then when he goes down again to boot again, they jump on his back again. And here's the Prophet of God. And he's doing this. And so it's not like, hey, I'm in the mosque. Can't do this outside. What are people going to think of me? There's none of this. So he showed us the example of how to build this relationship, how to show the love for our children. And we need to follow that. Strengthening this bond. So if we build the bond, we need to strengthen the bond. And we strengthen the bond by spending quality time for them, by giving them the personal attention. We need to build that trust, because often enough we're busy. We're busy working, we're busy trying to do this, we're busy trying to do that. And at the end of the day, if we don't give them enough time, we're not going to build this relationship. Building the trust. And building the trust comes from keeping the promises. And this is not always easy. So just what I would say is, don't ever get caught lying to your kids. If you do, they'll catch you and they don't forget. I'll tell you this from experience. Positive reinforcement. So as parents, we want the best for our kids. Parents, we want them always to be at best. We want them to do better. But how we go about this, and this is kind of a leadership 101. is you could say you did this wrong, you did this wrong, you did this wrong,